Welcome to Fresh List, your destination for seasonal culinary inspiration. We bring the freshness of local produce to your kitchen while introducing you to the farmers behind it all. Burke, can you do the thing where at the beginning of the video we show them what the finished dish looks like? Today, as you guys can see, we are going to be making a grilled Orzo asparagus salad. We're going to be cooking up some Orzo. We're going to cool off that Orzo. We're going to chop in a fresh tomato, some beautiful parsley, and some radishes. And then I'm going to make a shallot and garlic vinaigrette. That's super easy. That's all going to be done in one small mason jar. So we're going to make the dressing in the vessel that we're going to store it in, which is very convenient. In front of me right now, I have a couple of things. I've got all of my ingredients out. I've got the tools that I'm going to need to make this, and I've got my stove ready to go. One of the things about cooking that makes it far more enjoyable is just taking a minute, read your recipe, write it out, get it in your mind what you need, and then get everything out so that it's ready for you so that you can just enjoy cooking. So this is also referred to as mise en place, and I've got that set out in front of me right now. So I've got my vessel that I'm going to cook my Orzo in. I've got a grill pan that is heating up on the range. I've got all of my fruit. I've got all of my vegetables out that I'm going to be cooking. I've got some seasoning, and I have some ingredients to make my dressing over here, and then all the things that I'll need to prepare. So what we're going to do first is we're going to grab our pot and we're going to get this boiling with some salt and some water so that we can cook our Orzo. All right, so our water for our Orzo is boiling. We are going to remove the lid using a rag so that we don't burn ourselves. This is about 1.5 cups worth of Orzo. We're gonna add that to our water. Gonna grab a spoon and give it a small stir. That's going to take about 8 minutes to cook, and while that cooks, we're going to do a few things. We are going to get our asparagus ready to get thrown onto our grill pan. This asparagus was just sitting in some water. That helps it stay fresh. So this asparagus has already been prepped with the bottoms removed. I'm going to give it a small rinse. Then we're going to throw it into our bowl with a little bit of salt and pepper and olive oil. I'm going to dry that rinsed off asparagus. All right, so we're gonna throw that into our bowl. I'm gonna open up our nice new bottle of EDG olive oil. I'm gonna give it a decent drizzle. I'm gonna throw some salt and some fresh cracked black pepper. And a tiny bit of minced garlic, which I just had over here in a bowl ready to go. Now that our asparagus has been tossed in olive oil and some seasonings, I'm gonna get it onto our grill pan. Our grill pan is nice and hot. You can hear that sizzle. And of course, if you had an outdoor grill, you could do this outside. Right now, we do not, so I'm just gonna do it in here on this small little grill pan. This should probably take about 5 to 8 minutes. And we'll make sure that we keep our eyes on that. Next, we're just gonna take our tomato and we're gonna cut this up. I'm just going to use my bird's beak knife to remove the top of the tomato. I kind of want these tomato chunks to be nice and big in our salad. So after removing that core, I'm gonna just take my knife and I'm just gonna make some wedges, and then I'm gonna chunk down those wedges into some small chunks. I'm gonna keep these kind of big so that they don't break down when we toss our salad. And then I'm going to add these to our bowl. Okay, so although we're gonna season our full dish, I wanna make sure that we season the tomatoes that we're going to put into it. I'm just gonna hit this with a little bit of cracked pepper and a little bit of salt, and I'm just gonna leave these out on the table. Next, we're gonna clean our board up, and we are going to just take a small peek at our asparagus to see how it's doing on our grill pan. Every now and then you want to occasionally stir your orzo to make sure it doesn't stick on you. So our asparagus is on the grill pan, our orzo is boiling. Next, we're just going to throw together this really quick vinaigrette. I'm going to take some of this absolutely beautiful curly parsley and chop this up and throw it into our mason jar. To do that, I'm just going to bunch this up in my hands and run my knife through it. Mix that up. We'll have the recipe down below, but that was about 1.5 tablespoons worth of parsley. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of lemon zest, about 1 teaspoon's worth. This is gonna be very bright and vibrant in that orzo salad. About half of our lemon. I'm gonna throw this little strainer over there, cut this lemon in half. And get about 2 tablespoons worth of lemon juice. I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but this asparagus is absolutely cooking now, which is great. You can hear the sizzle coming off that grill pan. I give these just a tiny little flip. That's probably got about 3 more minutes. Check our orzo. Next, into our mason jar, we're gonna put 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic. We're gonna put about 15 grams worth of maple syrup. We're gonna put a pinch of salt, a couple of cranks of fresh pepper. Next, into the vinaigrette, we're gonna put about 1 tablespoon or around 10 grams worth of mustard. Then we're gonna put around 30 grams worth of olive oil in there to finish it off. Tear out my scale. All right. Then the best part about this vinaigrette is it scales up very easily. You can really add any herbs that you want. Shake, shake, shake. But it's very simple, citrusy, clean, easy vinaigrette to make. And it stores in the container that we shook it in and made it in. Just gonna give that a small little taste. Yep. Yeah, that maple mixes up with the mustard really well. The acidity cuts through. It's kind of like a little bit of a honey maple taste, but it's very good, very clean, very easy. All right, as the smoke settles, this asparagus is absolutely ready to come off. It's been on there on high for about 8 minutes. I'm just gonna throw that back into the bowl that we had originally tossed it in. Our orzo is looking fully clean. See those beautiful grill marks on that asparagus. In the basin of the sink, I've got our strainer. Now I'm gonna grab 2 cloths to make sure that I don't burn myself, and I'm gonna bring those over to here and drain this cooked pasta. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of cold water just to help it come down to temp. To help our cooked orzo cool off, we're just gonna throw it onto a plate. That way just it's spread out a little bit so that it can chill down faster for us so that we can put this full dish together. We're gonna take our orzo and just put it into the fridge for a few minutes. Let that cool off for us. All right, so earlier we had our lemon and parsley vinaigrette. That's all been shaken up and put together, and we are going to dice a local shallot and throw that into there. This shallot is coming to us from Corral Farms. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna use my bird's beak knife just to help me remove that sort of outer layer that we don't want, that skin, that protectant layer of this shallot. I'm gonna take my knife, cut just to where the greens are coming up. I'm gonna save this. This is gonna be used for stock. That's gonna be used for a lot of other various little things and broths and things like that in our kitchen. But right now, all I want is this bulb. Next, I'm gonna take this shallot and I'm gonna take my knife. I'm gonna cut it down. I'm gonna cut it in half. Just gonna cut really thin strips. The rawness of the shallot and the sweetness and the citrus sort of tang in this vinaigrette is gonna pair beautifully together. gonna add a lot of flavor and complexity to our dish. And we're just gonna mince this shallot. Guide that chopped shallot into that mason jar. And we're gonna give that one more shake. All right, now that our asparagus has cooled off for a little bit, I'm just gonna get it onto the cutting board, and I'm just gonna chunk it up a little bit. We want nice big pieces for that orzo salad. What I love about orzo salad and what I love about salads like this is that honestly, it's just a blank canvas. You can really put into this whatever you want, and you can make sure that it's packed full of veggies to make sure that you're getting a lot of vegetables throughout your week. Now that our grilled asparagus is cut, I'm gonna grab those tomatoes that we had seasoned up earlier. I'm gonna throw those into here. I'm going to do the last few things that we need for this dish, which is pick some of these beautiful breakfast radishes, cut these up into nice thin shavings. I'm just gonna remove the tops. If you have a mandolin, you could use a mandolin right here. I do not have one on me today, so I am just going to make these as thin as I can with my knife. Breakfast radish is gonna add some beautiful color to our dish. It's just gonna add another texture and another component and another flavor in there. All right, so I've got some radish in there. Next, I'm going to chop some already toasted almonds. And again, I'm just gonna rough chop these because we want some really nice differentiation on textures in here. That's what's gonna make this salad so pleasurable to eat. We're gonna have some cooked ingredients, we're gonna have some toasted ingredients, we're gonna have some raw ingredients. And all of that variation between cook, flavor, and texture is gonna make this really interesting to eat. Right now in our bowl, we've got everything except for our orzo and our shallot vinaigrette. We're gonna get those last ingredients and we're gonna finish this off. All right, so our plate of orzo is nice and chilled. I'm gonna add that in here right now. We are going to season this whole entire dish, but while I have the orzo, I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of salt. I just like making sure that each component of a salad like this gets its own special seasoning, and then we'll season the whole dish as well. So our orzo is in there. Now I'm taking our shallot vinaigrette, and honestly, I'm just gonna pour this over until I feel like it's right. We'll start there, and we'll add more if we need to. Lastly, before we finish this off, I'm just gonna grab my spoon. Just gonna shake this up. And yeah, this dish had a couple of small little parts to it, but once you see the finished product, you'll understand why making a big batch of something like this at the beginning of the week can be so beneficial. We've got 3 or 4 different veggies in here. You've got a good pasta sauce in this orzo. You've got a nice, beautiful, fresh vinaigrette. This is definitely a workplace lunch. You could take some cooked chicken, you could take some grilled tofu or anything like that and throw that over this for an absolute complete meal, or honestly, you can eat this by itself. We're gonna take a bowl, throw that down in front of us, and we're gonna show you the final dish. Some nice chunks of tomatoes, some beautiful toasted almond, that nice little pop of that grilled asparagus. Grab some of our parsley, chop that up really quick, and there you have it. We've got a grilled asparagus orzo salad with toasted almonds, local radish, local tomato, and a shallot vinaigrette. Nice, simple, easy, clean, beautiful, full of vegetables. Enjoy.